Hello, once again, welcome to Do Life. I am so pleased that you are with us today. We started a session last week, which this is the second part. And I don't want you to touch the dial. If anything at all, I want you to invite your friends, your loved ones, tell them to tune in. Because this is the second part of our session, Building Healthy Relationship. I have with me this precious woman, this anointed woman, this entrepreneur, this wonderful wife, daughter, friend, and one who is doing so much in the space that she's in and touching lives. That is Kristen, Hopkins, Vincent. Kristen, we had a great time in the last session, but because of time, we had to literally pick it up again and continue. We're talking about relationship, and we're talking about the importance of building a healthy relationship. So in the introduction, we hit on some few points. But at this session, I really want us to dive a little bit into boundaries in relationship. So because it's conversation, I want you to feel free. I don't want it to be me asking you all questions. But I just want us to bring our audience, bring our family, bring our members, our affiliates and associates right into this conversation. The topic is very critical. Okay, we're talking about relationship, and we're talking about how to build it and maintain it. Okay, so what are some things in the boundary area that you would like us to explore?
You know, I am an open book, and I like being transparent. So I'm going to tell you about something that I'm going through right now. And I'll speak from a millennial's perspective, because right now there is a lot of church hurt going on, a lot of millennials that are running to other gods, which is not the one and the true and the only God that we serve. And so I am introduced to many people that I love, agape love, but I am learning how to set boundaries with people that do not agree with my beliefs when it comes to Jesus Christ. And this is something I'm still navigating, but it's important for me to set those boundaries, because where God's taking me right now, I have to be so locked in to hear him. And you have to be careful when you expose yourself too many times to people, because the influence of what they may believe can continue to either, like, you think about it or and I'm learning that to love and to be in conversation and to be in community and to be in fellowship, that's okay, right? To agree to disagree, that's okay. But when it's time to create a boundary on how much access you're able to get to me when God is stretching me in a season is very important. And I've learned this because having a foundation of Christ and growing up in the church, you know that there are seasons where, and for me, I was in seasons where I was heavily into the Bible. I'm reading every day. I'm writing every day. And then there were seasons where I'm like, oh, Lord, hello, can I hear you? And when I looked at those seasons, I realized that there were people in my life that were influencing me in some ways, that were heavily influencing me more than they should have been, because I gave them access. And so thinking about the boundaries in a relationship is all the knowing of self. Who am I in this season, and who is the people that try and get access to me, and does that align with my foundational beliefs and where God is taking me in this season? So I'm learning that in navigating how to give the folks that do not believe the foundational principles of Jesus Christ how to still be in community, how to still love, how to still engage, but give me some space, give me some, learning my boundaries to the access. And so this is where I'm at in my life with boundaries, and just being able to be bold about those boundaries and being consistent. Because I don't want to be like, this is my boundary one week, and then the next week, that's not my boundary. So, but it all takes, goes back to that identity, and who is your identity? And right now I'm in a space where God is showing me my identity in the kingdom. I know my identity on earth, but now I'm like, okay, God, what am I supposed to be doing for the kingdom that is helping my earthly walk? And I think those are very much so aligned. But when we know those, then those boundaries are very clear. And so that's how I feel.
That's very deep. That is very, very, very deep.
Yeah. I want to know about you, though. How do you set boundaries? Because as you elevate and, all over the world, the different people that you've met, how are you setting your boundaries? And I will tell you, I've read several of your books, okay? And so I am an avid reader of your books. Not all books, but of your books. But I've read some, and one thing that I do know in your early, I think it was 20s or 30s, you would like go off and kind of lock yourself in and like fast and pray. It was a very big part of your life. And I believe that is extremely powerful, because how can you be who you are without really hearing the voice of God with no distractions? So how do you create those boundaries to not only get into the presence of God, to go to the place called there, right?
Yeah.
How do you get into those boundaries to be in the confidence of who says you can't, right? How do you create those boundaries to be able to draw that line and get where God needs you to go?
That's a very great question. I'll start by saying you made a very profound impact on everyone that is listening with an open heart and open mind, because you are speaking as somebody in another generation, but yet what you said resonates. Gen Z can get it, millennials can get it, and also those generations ahead can also benefit from it. One important thing is that two people cannot work together except there's agreement. And we are not supposed to be unequally yoked.
Yeah.
Again, if you are going in two different directions and you spend most of your time, you end up wasting each other's time. You can rob each other of where they're supposed to be.
Ooh.
So it's always good to make sure that at least the person going to the north can actually help you to change your mind going to the south to go to the north. And if you don't want to go to the north and you want to go to the south, then it's your choice. So I have always believed, and I've always done this to protect me in setting healthy boundaries, is this. When a person grossly disrespect God and speak against faith, I would never give them the best of me. Because the thing that gives me the value, if you disvalue it, then I'll be no value to you. So my boundaries are within God. If two people can agree in faith, there's nothing that cannot be done. If two people can come in agreement, impossibilities become possible. So for me to have a healthy relationship with anyone, I just want to make sure that we share a common bond in God. We share a common bond in faith. If God is our foundation, then we can do a lot together. Number two, one of the things that I've done to protect me and preserve my boundary is that I wouldn't let someone tear others down. If somebody has a habit of tearing people down, I will not trust them to build a relationship with.
Ooh, that's good.
Because what happened is the person who tears down is not a builder, it's a destroyer.
Ooh.
So if I allow a destroyer to come into my life, then I'm allowing a little bit of Satan to operate in my life.
Ooh.
The thief comes not but to steal, to kill, and to destroy. So one of the boundaries is I never like people who always like tearing people down. If you keep tearing people down, that means you are not the kind of person I need to let in my space. I have to protect that boundary.
That's good.
Because my boundary have to be healthy. I have to give people the benefit of a doubt. But at the same time, I have to make sure that what we share is mutually beneficial.
Yeah.
We are able to encourage each other, strengthen each other, build each other, support each other, and also celebrate each other's successes and also work with them in their toughest times. So my boundaries are such that if a person says that they love you, the backdrop is that do they love you for the moment or they can love you in crisis time? If somebody says that they are your friend, are they your friend during success times or your friend during struggling times? If the person only shows up when you have something to eat or celebrate, but runs away when you are struggling, then that person is not someone you should allow to take your energy away.
So I'm going to tell you, in the millennial term, it's called, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. That means you wasn't with me going hard. You wasn't with me grinding, right? But you wanted to be with me in the limelight, in the success. Yeah. That's what we say. So it's the same thing, like, but we just got a little different terms. Exactly. Right? But that's real though. When you see that, and I've seen that in my life. I've seen people that were on the ride when it was good, and then all of a sudden things go bad, and I'm like, where they at? Yeah. Well, they must have got lost. They must not know where my house is now. They must. It's a real thing. You start seeing that people suck you dry in a relationship just to be for you for the photos and the limelight. It's a real thing.
And also, it's very, you made a clear point here. You see, if somebody genuinely care about you, they won't drain you. If somebody genuinely care about you, they won't waste you. If somebody genuinely care about you, they'll prop you up when you need to be propped up, and they will literally walk with you when you need to be walked. Because no matter how strong you are, there come days and time when you will not feel as strong or as powerful or as successful or as happy. But that's when you need the persons who you've allowed in your space, the persons you've allowed to build a community with, the persons you've allowed to actually build a life or to do life with. If they are not there when you need them, then the question is that, will you ever need them? If you are not benefiting or getting the support you need from them, when they're supposed to be there, then will you need them in the end? What helps is for healthy boundaries. People who are going to be there are going to be there. And you should allow them to also add to you or support you or build you up. Don't push it away, because they are there by choice and not by force. They are there by commitment and not by manipulation. So there's some people that come into your life, and the boundary is, you know what, I'm allowing this person into the deeper parts of me because I know this person will not hurt me. I know this person will not betray me. I know this person will not reject me, and I know this person will not. This person will not hurt me. I trust this person because they are proven to be trustworthy. In this generation, as you know, people don't trust easily because they've been disappointed. And you made a statement about the church world. People have gone through hurts. People have gone through disappointments. But there comes a time that we should also understand that people who go to church are not angels. People who go to church are human. The fact that they still have certain places in them that needs to be crucified, or places that needs to be revived, that means we are still dealing with humans. But we should also learn to say, okay, in this boundary or in this space, I will allow people who would help me grow, who bring the best out of me, and people that I can actually be open with. And I know that my openness, they will cover me. In my openness, they will protect me. In my openness, they will preserve me.
That's so good. That's so good. And you know, in this season, I've been reading, so one of the devotionals I did, I was just pulling out my phone so I can find it, but one of the devotionals I did the other day, it brought me to Psalms 16:22, and it showed me about prudent. And I never really studied the word prudent. And so, and I'm trying to read the scripture, but it talks about having a prudent mouth, like speaking and also giving instruction and being very sturdy and vigilant and just focused on never hearing just to hear and do, but hearing and then always checking the word and evaluating it to the spirit. And so it was really good to me, because when we think about relationships and where we're going, we have to be prudent. Exactly. So I've been asking God, make me prudent. God, make me prudent. Because I know the season is changing, and the relationships some are being maintained and some are changing. And I need to be prudent to know the difference. My judgment needs to be sound, and full of integrity when you walk with that judgment. And so I think it's just really powerful what you mentioned, because you start seeing that people are only with you along the journey for what they can get. But the mutual relationship, the I pour into you, you pour into me. When you have down moments, you have a community that's like affirming the God in you, affirming who you are called to be, is critical in a relationship.
Very, very critical.
Yeah.
And you hit it. You hit it on the right spot. You see, when you have a personal life and also have a public life, it's always good to make sure that you keep them separate to a point. There are those who don't have any boundaries, and they will bring the personal things that is not for public consumption out there.
Wow.
Because they have literally made themselves a spectacle to the world.
Yeah.
They would say things that are said privately, openly. Okay, and what it does is there's a blur here. There's no clear line. Your personal life, for example, you have a family, you are having challenges with your family. Some of the challenges have to be dealt and managed at home. It's not for public consumption.
Yeah.
But if you don't know how to set the boundaries, then there's a complete listing. You may be hurting the people you're supposed to love.
Yeah.
People you're supposed to be protecting, you'll be exposing and hurting them because they are not for public use. Okay. There are some people who get attention when they become nasty. They get popular.
They thrive off of it.
They thrive on that negative energy.
Yeah.
And they say things that are not meant for the public. If anything at all, it reduces their value and diminishes their impact.
Yeah.
So in relationships, setting the boundaries and also making sure that you are prudent, you have to weigh, okay, is this something I can share publicly? Or is this something that can benefit the people?
Yeah.
Or is something that will degrade and hurt the people that I care about and love? I know instances where people don't have boundaries.
Yeah.
Where they can insult each other. They don't know what to say. Enough is enough. This is not the space for that. When you have healthy boundaries, hey, this is not here. This is not for this space. This is privately. We do this.
Yes.
We do this privately. And there are some things that you say, okay, this is where I can say something in a positive light because you are prudent.
Yes.
You've thought it through, processed it, and you are saying it to help others, but not to destroy others.
Yeah, and that's something that I feel that I continue to go through now is my boundaries consistently change. And not for the bad. It's like as you grow, your boundaries are changing. And one of the things that I realized recently in a marriage, you got to know your boundaries and his boundaries, right? And one thing I've learned is that I respect my husband's boundaries.
Yes.
And I respect his values. And recently we had to cut a line with someone, and he was the one that took the lead in it. But it was because when you're in environments where you allow certain people to come in, and then that person is a reflection of you. You know how they say birds of a feather flock together? That's real. Because it's like, wait, if this person is around you, what y'all got going on? So it's when you set that boundary to say, this has been great. Our friendship has been great, but this is not a season no longer that we can be friends. I think that it's important to communicate that. And I think for us as millennials, sometimes it's hard. I know me, I I didn't know for a long time how to negotiate conflict constructively.
Yeah.
And that is actually a self-management skill to
Yeah.
understand how to socially, negotiate conflict. And so I'm learning in this season how critical that is, though.
Yes.
Because if you don't communicate, in our generation, we'll just cut somebody off, and be like, all right, I just don't see you again.
Yeah.
And you know what you did, you wrong, right? But they might actually not know what they've done.
That's true.
And you may need to check them and say, you can't be a part of this relationship.
Yeah.
But for the remaining relationships that you do have, make sure that this is something that you take with you, or, something that helps you along your journey.
Yeah.
But a lot of times we're so selfish in our own right, and I think about this, and I'm actually talking to myself too, where we don't think about bettering that person for the next relationship.
Yeah.
So we just be like, all right, talk to you later, and not realizing that in order to help them not to mess up with other relationships, you're supposed to speak that thing to them right straightforward. This is what happened in our relationship. This is why this boundary is set. This is why we're no longer friends.
Yes.
And hopefully in your next relationship, this is what you can do.
Exactly.
So that's something that I challenge everyone to do, as well as myself, to consistently set the tone, even if someone has hurt us, to say this is why. And then, we go our merry way. Like we go north, they go south, like you talked about. But that set in the tone and understanding that it's okay to look at conflict and not negative. Conflict isn't negative. I think that's what destroys a lot of relationships. We look at conflict as a negative expectation. When it's not negative. It's the way you perceive conflict, the attitude you bring to conflict, that makes it the perception of negative.
Wow. What a word. You nail it right on. When such message comes out, and I want everyone that is listening to listen to it again, go back to the first session and also this session, play it all over. What you have said is straight to the point. You have to help others. We have to help others, to understand that conflict is not always bad. It actually setting boundaries and also allowing you to know that, what, in this season, this was accepted. But in this season, it is not accepted. And we have to understand the seasons. It is powerful.
That's good.
Wow. What a word.
So good.
I think we should do this often.
Yes, we should.
This is a delight.
Yes.
So what we will do is we will arrange for another
sessions. Yes.
Another Do Life.
Yes. Because we're in relationships, when you're in the midst of something, someone pours it to you, and now I'm on fire. I want to go change the world right now, And
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's always a joy for us to share like this, frankly and openly.
Yes.
Helping people to get what they need. We would do this again.
Yeah.
And I also want you to tell your beloved that I'm proud of him.
Yes, I will.
I love him, and I am just looking for us to have another our lunch.
Yes.
Our lunch
and some lamb chops.
I like him.
Yes.
I like our time together.
Yes.
And he's also been voted one of the 40 most influential.
Over the South.
Yeah, in the South. I'm so proud of him.
Yeah.
And tell him we salute him.
I will.
Okay. Thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you.
The world is proud to have you, and I'm grateful to know a woman like you and the impact you're having, both in the kingdom and also in the world.
Yeah.
Now, to those of you out there, God bless you. We look forward to coming to you every time with Do Life, with quality leadership and quality individuals like this who speak straight to the heart and help us all to become the best version of ourselves. Now, for those of you also watching, don't forget to share this with your friends. Watch it over and over again. Write to us and tell us how these sessions are literally blessing you or bringing some things in you and for you. And do your best to support us in every way. You can give. The ways of giving is out there. Follow them and do so. And I tell you how grateful we are to your support. We appreciate you and we love you. God blessings to you.
Hey, Life International family. Thanks for watching another Do Life session powered by King Adamtey. We hope that you are blessed by today's discussion and have learned some key principles that you can apply to your everyday life. Join us next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our next Do Life session. You can join us by visiting our YouTube channel, We're Life International RTP, and if you haven't done so, make sure you subscribe and turn on your post notifications so you don't miss a session. If you're in the Research Triangle Park or the surrounding area, we would love for you to join us on Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for our worship service. We're located at 5310 South Austin Avenue, Durham, North Carolina, 27713. If you're not able to join us in person, don't worry. You can join us via live stream by visiting lifeinternational.us/DOLifeTV. If you were blessed by today's message, we encourage you to give. Your giving is how we can continue to bring you messages like this on a weekly basis. You can give via text using your mobile device by texting your donation amount to 84321. You can also give online by visiting us at lifeinternational.us/give. Or you can give by scanning the QR code with your mobile device's camera. Thank you for supporting our ministry through giving. We look forward to doing life with you. Have a blessed week. We'll see you next time. Bye.